Hello, guys.
Hey. Hi, everybody.
Oh, hi. How's everybody doing?
Great.
Come on,
Hope we have you.
Yes.
Thanks.
It is.
Do we want, Julie? I know we talked about like reading off everybody's bios, but I feel like why don't we just go into the discussion and we could talk. They could sort of reveal biographical information about themselves during the.
I think so.
While we just talk.
Yeah,
right?
let's go spontaneous.
You will learn about them as we go along and whatnot. You know my reputation already, right? My first question, actually, to open it up to everybody, I wanted to ask is what is your first memory of seeing dance, experiencing dance on screen, like in video form or TV or movies or whatever? Yeah, why don't we just go down the line?
Hello? Yes, no? Alright. Hi, my name is Rob from Instant Noodles.
What's up?
My first memory of dance was actually in Mary Poppins when there was the chimney sweeper dance scene, and that was I guess it was one of those things where like I really didn't associate it with dance. I was just like, wow, they're jumping around and on top of buildings and in and out of chimneys. That's really cool. And so it was like that scene. If you guys remember it, if you don't, you can YouTube it because YouTube is amazing. You can do that now. You know, I just remember it was so dynamic, and that was kind of like what drew me to it. Even though it was like jumping, it was more jazz, Broadway-ish rather than what you see now. More like, or what you see now is more like breaking and like a lot more tricks. But then it was more like, it was very like performance-based. They were very, giving of their performance. And I think that's what attracted me to dance in the first place. What's up, Geo?
Hi. So, first time I saw dance on screen, I can't really remember the exact specific moment, but I remember the most influential and profound moment was actually watching like Michael Jackson as a kid and watching like Smooth Criminal videos and Thriller, and I just remember being a little kid and being like, dang, that is so cool, like how do you learn how to do that? And like us three, we grew up in Taiwan, originally from Taiwan, and being from Taiwan, it's kind of different. Like your parents send you to piano lessons and tennis lessons and
tennis.
Yeah, tennis and swimming lessons, and you never really your parents never really see like dance or like that kind of like dance in the media, like that kind of like hip hop dance or choreography dance as a thing that they can take you and send you to learn in. And I remember like when we started dancing, we saw like the first clips from like the internet, and that's before YouTube. And it'd be crazy to get like a clip of like Mr. Wiggles or something. And then when we saw Mr. Wiggles in like Limp Bizkit's video, we're like, whoa, this is so cool. Like stuff like that. I think now with YouTube, you see dance like everywhere on the internet and everything. It's a lot more accessible. But back then, like especially just like seeing it on TV with like Michael Jackson, and like later learning that he was taught by people like in the underground dance scene, and that's how it translated from them onto him, onto like the big screen. That's how I got influenced.
Yes.
Hi. My first memory of dance is actually a long time ago. My first memory of breakdancing was from b-boying was from Run DMC. Their music video, It's Like That, and they had like a battle scene, and it was like Cujo was in it. And Asia One was in it, and like, yeah, and then it was really. I remember seeing that and being like, man, that looks crazy. I don't even know what they were doing because I was like really young at the time. But even before that, I think the first dance sequence I saw was an animation sequence in like an anime called like Macross. I don't know if you guys know this. There's like an anime called Macross, and there's a scene where the girl is like singing to these like giant space people, and there are like people dancing in the background. And I remember watching that and being like, that's like, I was like, whoa, there's like little cartoon people like moving in the back. I wonder what they're doing. This was like when I was like really young though, but that was like my first memory. I'm kind of nerdy, so that's like what I remember.
Hi. Speaking of nerds, I'm a big one as well. My first experience of dance on the big screen was Captain EO at Disneyland. Give it up for Captain EO. Yeah, I think it was circa 1985, my first experience watching Captain EO, and it changed my world. I was a mute child. I grew up really quiet, not having friends, hiding behind my mom's legs at every turn, and now you can't shut me up because of dance. So yeah, when I saw Michael Jackson come out, you know, in does everyone know what I'm talking about? If not, please YouTube it. Captain EO is phenomenal. It's amazing. Thank you. My second experience that really inspired me to be a dancer is Gene Kelly and Singing in the Rain. Phenomenal. Gene Kelly, I had a tap teacher that I met when I was 5 when I first started dancing, and she said, my mom, she immigrated to the US from the Philippines, I think in '75. My mom didn't know who Gene Kelly was, so we went to Blockbuster and rented the VHS and popped it in, and I was hooked. Every single day I watched Singing in the Rain. So Gene Kelly is one of my biggest inspirations, and if you guys don't know who Gene Kelly is, please YouTube him. He's awesome.
Yes. Hello. Off the top, I would probably say I would agree with Geo. It's for sure Michael Jackson. I mean, I was always watching those videos, and my mom was such a fanatic. Like, I remember there was a time, it was like the Super Bowl halftime show Michael Jackson was performing. She was just going so crazy. I remember I was just so young, and I was just watching it like, oh my gosh, what are they going crazy about, you know? And I was just watching him over and over again. Like, I could just feel the energy that, like, what my mom and her other friends were just going crazy. They were just screaming about him. And I was like, what's so special about him? And I watched it, and I was like, oh, I get it, you know? Like, he's just a born entertainer. So that was definitely one of my first experiences, you know, like, really being exposed to dance on that kind of level, you know, that kind of media, so, yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Hello. Hi guys. My name is Moon. I came from China. So, yeah, 6 years ago to America, so I have like totally different dance experience than everybody else. Oh, by the way, I'm from a really small crew with 6 people named Tsai. And my inspiration actually is K-pop.
K-pop.
Right? Yeah, so when I started dance, they're not even famous yet, right? So that was 12 years ago. I watched TV at home, and I saw HOT. I said, wow, how people move like that, right? Yeah. Then I started trying to learn all those moves on TV, and then my mom was like, what you doing? I was like, I try to dance, right? And this mom, actually I decided that when I was 16, I said I want to become a professional dancer. My mom told me I'm really disappointed. Yeah, I was like, really? You disappointed? Why? My mom said, your dream will never come true. I said, Mom, that hurts me, you know? And that's the only problem between me and my parents. Besides that, I love them so much and they love me as well. That's the only thing we not agree with each other in what we see in the future of our life, you know? So our family. So, but after 10 years, I've been dancing 10 years, and finally, last year, my mom picked me up from the airport, and I came back from China, work for the biggest entertainment TV show, and then my mom told me, actually, she's proud of me. So I was just starting crying. I said, oh, Mom, yeah. And yeah, that's my experience, first experience, how I started dance and everything. Yes, and you're beautiful.
Did you really? Okay. Anyways, well, on that completely.
Julie, what's your memory?
My memory.
Yeah, I want to know yours.
Really?
Yeah.
Hello, I'm Julie. I am not a panelist. But I guess real quick, my first memory. Jesus. Why does I would also have to say, well, for some reason Sailor Moon comes to mind, but I don't think very much dancing. There was some cool posing. They did the transformation thing. Yeah, I'm also from China, and then I think it might have to be Gene Kelly, because Singing in the Rain was probably one of the first films I've ever seen. So yeah, it was brilliant. And then unfortunately though, without going into too much detail, back in my days, we didn't have YouTube either. And so I couldn't just go on and YouTube people like Harry Shum, YouTube people like you guys to say, wow, this is cool, you can make a career out of it. So all you youngsters here, you're very lucky. Anyways, so let's get down to business. This is a dance and film panel, so the first question definitely has to be, obviously we've seen how much of a demand we've had in dance and pop culture with all the So You Think You Can Dance, ABDC competitions, films and web series and everything. This was all a very recent kind of phenomenon. So what do you guys think was the catalyst for this demand and for bringing dance into the spotlight for the first time?
I'll start this off.
All right.
Being a part of the Legion of Extraordinary Dancers, the LXD, I think, thanks. I think John and Chu has a lot to do with bringing dance not only to the forefront, not necessarily on popular television, but through movies like Step Up 2. He directed Step Up 2, Step Up 3. He's an executive producer on Step Up 4 that they're shooting right now in Miami. And he is the creator of the LXD. And he started off as a dancer. At 5, his mom enrolled him in tap dancing lessons, and he's really the first person that looked at me and said, "What do you do?" I can do hip hop. I definitely don't consider myself a freestyler. I am a technical trained dancer, so I grew up doing ballet, tap, jazz. I get down sometimes with Julie. He, said to me, he's like, "What do you do?" I'm like, I do ballet. I really love ballet. And he's like, "Do you do point?" And I said, "Yeah, I love point." And he's like, "Okay, I have an idea for you to become the Dark Nurse." If any of you guys have seen the LXD, I do point work. And he sees dancers as superheroes. And as dancers, we're always in the background until shows like So You Think You Can Dance, America's Best Dancer came along. But, nothing's wrong with being in the background, but this was the first time I was ever approached to be the forefront, that my dancing was going to be showcased for really what it is. So I really think John Chu is one of the reasons why dance is so in the forefront of everything now. So, yeah. Did I answer that question okay?
Yes.
Okay.
And John Chu is the director of Step Up 2 and 3. So
Yes, 2 and 3.
And the 4.
Executive producer of 4.
Yes.
Yes.
And G.I. Joe.
And G.I. Joe, yes. And the Justin Bieber film documentary. Never say
It's
never.
actually pretty good. I watched it.
They just watch it on the
Yeah, that's phenomenal. Yeah.
Talk about ABDC.
Yeah.
My boy, Randy Jackson.
Oh yeah, Randy Jackson. Well, I think So You Think You Can Dance first, right? So You Think You Can Dance came out first, and that was like the first reality dance show, and a lot of people latched onto it. I remember when I was in college, I had a friend who was on like season 2 Twitch. Like we went to college together, and I remember watching it when he went on and being like, "Wow, this is crazy!" Like these dancers are becoming like celebrities, like pseudo celebrities, because people see them and not just like they're in like some music video where it's like 5 seconds and you see them do a flip, but they actually showcase like the dancers. And then once people see the dancers, they want to like not just see them dance, but know more about them as people. And like so they become like this personality, and it becomes more than just dance. You actually like the person, and it's not just about like dance. That's why when we do reality shows, they always have like packages where they just show us talking, because I think the audience wants to connect to people as the dancers as people too, to see like their journey and stuff. And I think that's definitely a reason why people latched on to dance more, because instead of just seeing a product, they see the people behind the product, and that way they have like an emotional connection with like these dancers that they see on stage, like they're getting injured, or like Moon, like Asian family, like being like hard to deal with sometimes, and just like all these like journeys, and they see these people, and once they see the people, they can appreciate like what they do even more. So I think for me, I think that's like when I see stuff, that's definitely a reason for me, is that you identify with the dancer and the dance that they're doing also, and I think that's like a reason why it's gotten like more and more famous, more and more popular. Popular is the right word, yeah? All right. Yep, that was my take. Anybody? All right, cool.
Do you guys? I'm curious. Do you guys feel? Okay, well, prior to this sort of dance, this renaissance in dance and popular culture, I think they were kind of there's a very narrow path for if you wanted to be a dancer in the industry. There was very narrow opportunities, right? You could be the background dancer in a music video, like you said, or like, you know, it's really like backing up a singer or something like that. But do you guys find that now with this explosion of opportunities online, with the, you know, with these series and shows like that, do you guys feel like in your careers, do you guys feel like there's just more opportunities, like you could, that is open to you now? I'm mainly directing towards Shelby, because I know that you've done commercial work, you've done all kinds of stuff, so do you feel like there's more?
You know, I do. It's kind of a double-edged sword, and I'm just being completely honest. Being a dancer, sometimes I'm an aspiring actress as well. I've done some co-stars and guest stars, and I'm transitioning right now into that, as well as voiceovers for cartoons and, you know, writing things and producing and directing. So it's a double-edged sword. You know, I'm kind of in the generation where I didn't do So You Think You Can Dance. I was approached numerous times to be on the show, but I was in college. I went to UCLA. Go Bruins. You know, I went to college. I was a Laker girl for 3 years. And while doing that, I was also pursuing dance and acting at the same time. Right now, I think the tipping point has happened. I think people like Harry Shum Jr. have really proved that dancers are more than just people that can move their body and be entertaining. It's, you know, what people really don't understand is some of the most, talented actresses and actors know how to dance. Charlize Theron, I mean, you look at somebody like Gene Kelly, Debbie Reynolds, they were triple threats. Patrick Swayze. They all knew how to sing, dance, and act their butts off. And I don't know really where that disconnect happened when dancers were looked at as background. I'm not really sure when that happened, but I feel like because of ABDC and So You Think You Could Dance and the LXD, people are realizing that dancers can do more than just dance. So in saying that, I feel like opportunities have expanded for us. I have been given opportunities to artistic direct because I've proven myself. I've proven myself that, yes, I can pick up choreography. Yes, I can teach dance. Yes, I can, you know, you asked me to do 4 turns. Sure, I could do that. But I can also be behind the camera because I think dancers are very gifted with what we see. As dancers, we're very aesthetic people, and we're perfectionists. So I think more and more that dancers are really showing what they can do outside of dancing, like Harry, like myself, like John, like our executive producer Hugh, who all can bust a move on the dance floor, but when you get them behind the camera, they make magic. So I do think there have been a lot more opportunities based on people like that, and you know, dancers that are really trying to cross the barrier into doing like artistic directing, you know, whether it be web-based or, you know, popular culture like TV, movies. I really think this is the time to do it, and I think we're doing it, which I'm really excited about.
Yes.
All right. Like what he said, like the more opportunities, like I think being America's Best Dance Crew, I think what it did, it actually gave crews their own chance to build their own brand and their own identity and their own style, and made those crews marketable to organizations or corporations or events that would want to book that brand as a crew. So I think it, like, for example, like Jabberwockies or like a lot of the crews on ABDC that were successful after the show, what they did is they took their experience on the show, and after post-show, they continued to build on it, and they continue to utilize that and market their crew and their performances as, you know, as a product. So that, therefore, like, if there's an event that's like, oh, we would love to have a dance performance, you know, then they're gonna look up some crews that were on America's Best Dance Crew and be like, we should definitely book these guys because it's gonna bring a lot of people to our event. People are gonna enjoy the performances, and it's really gonna inspire people. So I think the good thing about these shows is they've helped a lot of crews that were on the show build a strong product and a strong way to market to people and like, I guess, promoters or organizations that want to use these crews to entertain people and inspire people. They have these crews there that are marketable.
This kind of exposure, I think, as performers, like with anybody, with performers, artists, creators, we're all given a choice. Because with this kind of exposure, yeah, like what Geo said, there's a lot of chances for work, for we can make money, we can make a living off of it. And one of these important choices, I feel like, that what I would like to believe that everyone thinks about is, what are we doing as work, and what are we doing for, you know, self-fulfillment? And I think it's hard sometimes because now this line of what a dancer is and what a celebrity is getting blurred. It's like you can be both. I personally believe it's still like two different things. Like it's true that these reality shows, they show us a different side of reality, but let's face it, it's reality. Because there's camera edits, there's cuts, there's producers saying, hey, maybe you could do this, or say this in a different way because it might sound better, or you never know, they might catch you off camera doing something and then they could edit that and then basically make you sound really mean, or make you sound really nice. You know what I mean? So I mean, so there's all these choices, and it's like there's the show, but after the show, who we are as people, it's like, what are we pursuing? And I'm not knocking on like making money or whatever, because that's what I'm doing, but I'm saying that yes, you're my crew. But it's an active decision, I think, especially at least for myself. I understand that I'm dancing as work, but at the same time, I also understand that there's a part of me that I need to just do completely for myself. And I know that's kind of like complete opposite ends of the spectrum, but I think with exposure comes, you making these choices. With great power comes responsibility.
That was Ben Parker from Spider-Man.
So Rob, you mentioned camera angles and being able to cut pieces together for something like television. So dance-wise, how different is it to choreograph for the camera, and how and in what ways can television and film kind of enhance the dance experience for the choreographer and also for the audience? For everybody.
I think what's really cool about like film, especially since like the 1920s, like Bugsy Berkeley, and like when he started doing like top shots, because no one could see dance from up here. Like even if you're sitting in a dome, you can't see dance from up here, but with video you can. So there's like all these like new things you can play with. They have different angles. Like you can hide stuff, or you can like change the way something looks just by like where you put the camera. So it adds a new like artistic perspective to like the dance experience. Because there's dance that dance that you just record, and then there's dance on film, which is like dance specifically choreographed for like television or like videos. And like on America's Best Dance Crew, we had like a limited experience with that, like having to play the camera over here, or having like the camera that like shoots around. Like it goes really fast.
Rolling cam.
Yeah, like it goes really fast.
On a dolly?
Yeah, on a dolly.
Yeah.
So like there's all these like new things that dancers and choreographers have the opportunity to use, and if you utilize it correctly, you can create like really, really cool dance film stuff. For example, like Cloud is like one of our favorite b-boys, and he does a lot of stuff on YouTube, and a lot of his dance stuff that he does, like you can only watch that on film. Like you can't just like watch it in a theater. It's like a different experience, like with the cameras and stuff. And I think that's definitely a great creative medium to like enhance like certain experiences. But if it's not done well, it can also take away from certain dance aspects. Like if it is choreographed for stage, and then you film it and you don't cut it correctly, or like you choose like weird angles, then you might lose what the choreographer is trying to say. So it's definitely a fine line, but I think it's a really cool thing to think about.
Yeah, to piggyback off that, those are really good points, good job. I think the difference between dance on stage versus dance in a narrative cinematic way is it's the fourth wall. When you watch it on stage, the audience is the fourth wall, so it's one-dimensional. So for example, if we're up here doing a dance routine, there's just one viewpoint, straightforward. And it's actually a little bit one-dimensional, so it's up to the choreographer to use the stage with different, depth perceptions, right? So you could use like diagonals, what other some choreographic terms that we use? Diagonals, circles.
Those are like geometry terms.
Yeah, okay. So then then you
Lloyd.
you flip it from film, and what I really like about film and dance is that you can see it from the dancer's perspective. So if, for example, if anybody has seen my LXD episode, it's entitled Mess in Aisle 7.
Yeah.
Yeah! I battle like 5 ballerinas on point, and it's really cool because it's seen from my perspective, right? So there's a point where they're circling around me and the camera becomes me. And on stage, you can't necessarily get that point of view. Versus on film, you can see it from all different angles. You can also do, you can control the frames per minute. So if you have a breakdancer doing head spins, it could look phenomenal on film. It totally changes the dynamic watching it on film, doing a certain frame per minute, like slow-mo, versus seeing it in real life. They're both great experiences watching it live and on camera, but you can, get that Busby Berkeley shot. I feel like America's Best Dance Crew has amazing shots of that.
They do a lot of that.
Like above the head shots. You can get, put the lens looking up. You can work with frames on camera. I just artistic directed this new webisode, hopefully that will get picked up, called The Legend of Tiffany Blaze. And it was really fun because we did a Busby Berkeley shot. I didn't have a jib camera, boo, but it was fun. We still got the idea across with, we used a star with people using bodies, and it still worked. If we were gonna do that on stage in front of a live audience, it wouldn't really work unless there was a camera showing off the bird's eye view. So that's really the difference between live stage shows and dance on camera for me.
Yeah, I wanted to add like a personal experience that my crew actually had regarding the camera angles that you see on film and the difference between camera angles for film and performing on stage. So Instant Noodles as a crew, prior to ABDC, we've never really done any film things before, and we always worked our performance, like Shelby said, towards the audience. So for week 1 Kesha episode, the way we choreographed was towards the audience. And actually we realized that there were a lot of things that we incorporated in our routine that week that because of the camera angle switching, they weren't able to capture a lot of those effects. For example, we choreographed a ripple with our toes that moved from one section to another, but they actually changed the camera angle while the ripple was happening, and we were all like really disappointed because oh man, they couldn't see our effect. Like the audience that watched it on camera couldn't see the effect, but the people that watched it from the front could. After we realized that, week 2, we were like, okay, we analyzed, okay, ABDC has several different camera angles. You got the top shot, you got the rolling cam shot, you got the frontal shot, and then you got the close-ups. So basically we're like, all right, we got to choreograph for each of those camera shots because the cameramen want to have specific times in those routines where they capture those shots. So we would choreograph specific parts in our routine that were like, all right, we want you to do a top shot. So we do choreography where we're all lying down and then they could shoot from the top. Or we do a choreography in a circle, that way when they do a rolling cam, they can capture all the choreography that way. And if you watch week 1, our Kesha episode, and week 2, our Black Eyed Peas episode, you can actually see the difference where we actually were like, we're gonna plan and make it very obvious to do which shots. And actually when we'd work with the cameramen and the choreographers, we would really like request what shots we wanted, because as dancers, we wanted to show our concepts to the fullest potential. We don't want like our concepts to be lost on film. So therefore we really planned for those shots, and I think that was what made it more effective as we went on. We could show our choreography better and better.
Cool. Actually, IME did a really good job with that too. I know that they had some stuff in the first episode that they lost.
Oh yes, that's for the first week.
Yeah,
I got really mad. But yeah, actually I'm one of the choreographer for IME crew, and because before ABDC I done so many YouTube films and stuff, I kind of slowly understand how the camera works, and so when I choreograph a whole routine on stage, I kind of choreograph for the camera. It's not just for the audience, because like some people may don't understand. It was like there's people at the front, they may not really see the whole idea, the concept, what you want to try to do, but actually there's only 300 audience, but as a circle around, at the front probably only 150 people, but on the TV show, actually air online, probably 3 million, 4 million people actually gonna watching it. So I think that's way more important. So actually I choreograph just for the camera, for ABDC.
Yeah.
This is a very good time for us to do something that we were supposed to do at the beginning of the panel, was show
you guys all in action on these clips. So we have clips of you guys dancing. So let's roll it.
This was a long time ago.
About the guy real. Let me put it like this. Anybody who's been in sort of like the dance scene and is familiar with the way crews work and just competitions and things like that knows that like Asians have been involved for a long time and are pretty prominent in it, but I don't think we ever really got to see them on spotlighted in such a way until ABDC.
Yes.
And people were like, yes, hell yeah, yeah. And then all of a sudden, like America got to see just Asian crew Asians in these crews just dominating, right? And it's crazy, but you can say that like on America's Best Dance Crew, all the champions have been represented in some way or form by Asian faces, Asian dancers. It's pretty incredible. So my question is though, by the time that season 6 rolled around, to see an all Asian crew, Instant Noodles crew, it was like, all right, this is like America is used to this. We can handle this. Our minds are going to explode to see like Asian crews. This is like a normal thing, right? It actually would have been weird if there was like no Asians on, in ABDC, right? So, but for me, it seemed like they were kind of shaping a certain identity. Like this is the Asian crew. This is the crew who does this. This is the crew. But like, and you guys were the Asian crew, especially with I know you guys are called Instant Noodles, but you guys are doing the noodle thing and your graphic, your logo. That's what is very highly sort of they're playing up that angle. I was kind of wondering. I mean, did you guys feel like they were putting you guys in an Asian box in a certain way?
Yeah, actually, we did feel like that. I mean, I guess because he said like from past seasons, I guess the show itself had a very high Asian following because of all the past crews. I would say like Quest Crew or like How Modern, Poriotics, so they all had like a really big Asian following. So I feel like, I mean, it's a TV show and TV shows are about ratings. And I felt like because we were an all Asian crew, I mean, it's not just because we're called Instant Noodles. Like, we didn't come up with Instant Noodles because we were Asian. We came up with like a story for Instant Noodles. We didn't come up with Instant Noodles because we were like, oh, we're an Asian crew. Let's be Instant Noodles. We could have been like German sausages or anything. But I think we just came up with Instant Noodles because we felt like it was the most random name possible and we could add meaning to it. Because we didn't want to be something like dynamic beat rockers and like not rock the beat that well, So we wanted to be Instant Noodles, so people were like, what kind of name is Instant Noodles? And kind of add meaning to it. It wasn't a very like, oh, let's come up with an Asian name because we're all Asian. But I think they may have taken it like that. And like the first time we saw like the banner that they made for us, we were kind of like, whoa, they're like really putting us in like an Asian thing, because we had like a yellow banner and it said Instant Noodles and the font was in like Asian Chinese takeout delivery font. And then like it was like this guy with a hand like grabbing these chopsticks, and actually we were married because there's a ring on the finger right here. And I was like, so we're an Asian dance crew called Instant Noodles that has a yellow banner and we're all married. So I mean, it kind of worked out like that, but I feel like, I mean, like Rob always says, like there's nothing about our dancing that says we're a crew called Instant Noodles. Like I kind of think that our hope so that we redefine the name kind of, like when you hear Instant Noodles, you don't think of the noodles, but you think of us. But
I think that I've been pretty successful in what I've been able to accomplish because I've kept my integrity, especially being a female in the industry. It's really easy to fall off the boat and to kind of cave into peer pressure. I mean, meaning a numerous amounts of things. Like, I never do jobs that I don't want to do. I do jobs, I pick and choose my jobs. Like, all my acting jobs that I've ever gotten, also being Asian American, you think, I'm not gonna get this job because I'm Asian. I usually walk into a room full of Caucasian girls and I'm like, oh, who's different? I am. This is weird. But you know what I tell myself is I'm like, all right, I'm gonna do this. And my mom instilled in me like to never give up. To never give up and be really smart, meaning be a good business person. So, like what you guys said, you could be the best breaker, you could be the best freestyler, but if you have a negative attitude and you walk in and everyone's like, wah, wah, who's that person? Guess what? They're never gonna wanna work with you. They want somebody who's really charming, who's a hard worker, who's gonna show up on time, who's gonna deliver. Like that take for My Name is Earl, really interesting story. That was a co-star, a one-line co-star. And I booked it out of like 10 Caucasian girls. And I was like, thank you. Yeah. I was really stoked to get it because I'm like, this is crazy. This is a primetime television show on NBC. My name is Earl with Jason Lee. Like, my scene is with Jason Lee. The writer on the show was on set after I did one take, and he comes up to me and he's like, Shelby, can you add another line in? And I'm like, yeah, sure. I'll do another line, sure. Want to make me recurring? Sure, why not? So he gives me another line, you know, and I'm like, oh, do you want to talk about the Lord? That was added on literally 5 minutes beforehand. But I really think I booked that role is because I kept my integrity in my audition. I wasn't dressed slutty, excuse my language. I came in as Shelby, and I think that's what has made me successful because everywhere I go, I'm just Shelby. I never try to be anything that I'm not. I just stay true to myself, and I really try to be a good businesswoman. I pick and choose my battles. I focus, I concentrate, and I try every step I make is hopefully an upward step. I never want to go back on my word. Once I accomplish something, I close that book and I'm like, on to something new. Let's see what I can. I always try to top myself. So I think that's why I've been so successful. And those of you that is there anybody that's trying to be in the industry, or are you guys just, no? Okay. Well, Julie said, how do you not get lost in the numbers? And I think it's really embracing and celebrating who you are, because I think everybody as individuals is really different. I know it sounds cliche to say that, but everyone's different. And if you're different, bring it out more. Like, I sound like I sucked in 10 balloons of helium. But guess what? That's fine, because I love my voice, and it's got me a lot of opportunities, interestingly enough. So I've really learned to embrace that, and I've embraced being full Filipino and knowing what that's all about. And I think that's how I didn't get lost in the numbers, because it's when you try to blend in, that's when you get lost.
Yeah, just to go off that, that's what like IME was especially about too. You know, like they came up with a very unique style of dancing. It was called brain banging, which is like a lot of pictures and illusions that they create with their body. So a lot of times, you know, in the beginning on the show, you know, people are just getting acquainted with their style, but it grew on everyone because they really just stuck to being themselves, not changing the choreography up due to other people's opinions or like who?
Yeah, Clark from the show.
Oh yeah, but pretty much, you know, Moon, Philip, and Brandon, you know, they always would stick to their own choreography without too much influence because they really believed in it. You know, they really knew it was unique and people would appreciate it. And I know Moon can elaborate on that more.
Yeah, and proud of your agent, right? So, we talk about what's successful. I think successful actually take time. It's not just. I'll talk about a little bit more than that. It's just like, to me, 10 years ago, I was like starting dancing, really struggling for 7-8 years. I just moved to America, and 6 years ago, I used all my money I made in China through years, brought a plane tickets, and come here with $20. And when I go to McDonald's, you know, in Houston, in McDonald's, there has a $1 menu called hot and spicy hamburger. They don't have there. So basically, it's $1. You can buy a hamburger. So I can't really afford the fries or anything. I go home, drink water, because I really don't have any money. I just want to tell everybody, if you're like a young, I'm not young anymore, but just what I'm saying is, if you don't really have to become to a dancer to be success. That's how I see it. You can do whatever the thing is you want to do. Like, this the thing, what I want to do in your life, just go for it, follow your dream. One day, I don't know how long that's going to take, will come true.
Right on. Yes. We are kind of winding down our time, so we're gonna have a little bit of time to open it up for questions. So if anyone has any questions, please raise your hand wide. There's a bright light shining in your face.
I have questions. Where we eat lunch?
We will figure that out.
I ate already, so.
Full of jokes
Dollar
all
menu.
the time.
Please raise your hand if you've got questions. Do not be shy.
Do not be shy.
If you make a sudden move, yes, all right, that's right there. We're all, please shout it out loud. Shh.
I was wondering, do you guys have your own input on your costumes for ABDC, or is that all?
Do you want to go for?
We just give them idea what we want, because sometimes they want everybody wear different things, but I told them they can't because we are a team. And then when we do a lot of visuals, it gonna take the choreography away. So we told them we just want everything look exactly the same, and they just pick the costume. And sometimes it says we sliding on the ground, so we need something slippery. So just add for us.
For us, it was
like, I think we tried to have an opinion, but it's overridden.
Yeah.
And then we just started going just going with it, and that's how we ended up with like leopard pants,
Bieber wigs,
purple jumpsuits,
They look phenomenal.
Justin Bieber wigs.
they're like, so what do you guys think about these pants? And we walk in. This is like week 3, so we were already like let's just whatever they want, man. Like let's walk in, and they're like leopard pants, and they're like, what do you guys think about this? We're like, it's awesome.
It was funny because after we did the Rihanna episode, everyone on Twitter was like, "Hey, those leopard pants, where do you get those?" We made leopard pants cool.
But in terms of utilitarian purposes, like we definitely, there are times when we would have to make sure the material is right. For like people, we had gussets in our pants, like every single one of our pants. I don't know if you can see it, but because they would put us in jeans and like really tight other stuff, so we would have they would put like this fabric in the crotchal region, and
It's like elastic,
it's
sort
like
of
stretchy.
stretchy.
So it makes it stretchy, and that you can do big moves easier and stuff like that.
Yeah, funny story is like Arthur. Every time they would give him like a pant size too small. He's like a 31. They give him like a 29, and then everyone would try their pants on. Yeah, this fits good. Arthur's just like, hey, does this look right? And it's like super skid tight.
Yeah, man, that looks great.
And we're like, oh man,
That's good. That's good.
Any other questions? Yes, right here in front.
Shelby, what can we expect coming up on LXD?
Oh no.
Ooh. As of right now, our contract is up with our production company. So LXD, I know the executive producers, John the creator, Hugh Ho, one of our executive producers, and Harry Shum. I know they are working on a secret project. Dun dun dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
But as far as episodes go, we are kind of on hiatus right now. We're kind of figuring out where we want to go if we get picked up for a season 4. So if the fans want to see it, let Hulu know, or check us out on Facebook, and let us know if you want a season 4, because right now it's on hiatus, unfortunately. But not in a bad way. We'll be around. We're just figuring out what we need to do in order to make season 4 happen.
Yeah. Everyone support.
Anyone else?
Anybody else? Do not be shy.
Come on.
Yeah, man.
Where do you guys come up with your choreography? Like, do you just make it up, or just like, I don't know, because some of the stuff you guys do is crazy, and I can never think of it as a million years.
All of us? Yeah, Moon.
No, you guys too, definitely.
Oh.
I do a lot of taping. Like back then, I listened to a lot of music. Even sometimes I had a hobby, like I sleep with the music on. Yeah, I think that helps, but people don't believe me. I think that helps. That probably helps. I don't know. And and I listen to a lot of music. And at home, I do a lot of movements back then, and I tape myself. This move I don't like it, and then I change to next move and I put in the music, and I show my friends. And they tell me it's whack. I said, I know it's whack, right? Then I changed it again, and over again through like a few years. Finally, one person says, so that's pretty decent. That's how I do it. Yes, I think that's how every single choreographer do it. They're not superhero. They don't have superpower. Just put in more time, more like dedication, pretty much. That's
You're a superhero, man.
Yeah, that's what she said. So let's go lunch.
Any other questions? Oh, choreography. I think all of us, because we don't have like a main person who choreographs, we all choreograph together, which makes the process really long. Because as you know, democracy takes a long time to past things. So we all have to agree on the same thing before we like put it on the group. But we've on the show we've learned to build off that. Like we'd separate the music into different parts that like each part like maybe this person would do better in, and then we would put it together like that. I know Rob, he's like conceptually very strong, so he'll come up with a concept first, like a movement concept, and then put it to music. Me and Geo, we like playing with music more, so we'll like listen to the music and try to choreograph something that matches the music or the feeling of the music. But sometimes it just comes out of like nowhere, like when we did the ballet thing for Katy Perry week. Like I was just like fooling around because there was like violins in the song. I was like, hey guys, watch this. Like this was like really late. We were really tired. But I was like, hey guys, watch this. I just like did it to like the violins. I was like just doing like a ballet bar, and I was like, hey, watch this. And then Geo and everyone was like, that's going in that piece. That's in the piece. And we're like, I was like, okay. And then like, so we put that in. So sometimes it's like really spontaneous, like just like whatever moves you at the moment, I guess. But yeah.
I think one thing we also pride ourselves in is that we really want to take the individual strengths of everybody. And so sometimes our choreography isn't necessarily, made up on the spot, and it's not made up so everybody can do it. There's some things where we pick and choose almost out of our individual sets. So for example, if Charles has a movement phrase that he does, and we're like, oh, that'd be really dope if we could apply this movement concept to it. Let's do it slower, let's do it faster, let's do it in, a canon form. So a lot of what our movement is derived from is personal style. It's not necessarily we make it up and we do it because, oh, this is something everybody can do, so we don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
Yes.
I hope that's caught on camera. Personally, I think Instant Noodles choreography is amazing.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you,
We think
food is amazing.
We think you are amazing. So we were on the show. We really got to know I&Me pretty well. Like we hung out and stuff. Like when we could, we had like 10-hour rehearsals like a day, so it was like crazy. But it was really cool getting to talk to him because I feel like I don't know, it's just nice to like talk to someone who has like cool choreography concepts, and we really gelled well together, and we were really happy that they won. So we were really excited for that. We were sad that we got eliminated. We didn't get to hang out with them anymore. But
Come to the house, right?
Oh yeah, we can come over to your house.
Are you inviting everybody?
Are you inviting
Party at
everyone?
Moon's house.
Party at Moon's house.
They have an I&Me house.
It's really nice. You guys should go. Well, I don't know. Forget I said that.
I think we got time for more questions or no? One more question? How about that? One more question, so make it a good one. Right here, right? See right here.
What's your favorite food?
Say it loudly.
How is it like to dance in front of millions of people?
What is it like to dance in front of millions of people? Go down the line, guys.
It's sort of strange because not to say that I didn't feel like I was dancing in front of millions of people, like it's happening, but when we were on stage, it was like, yeah, you had the audience and then you had, a camera, but it's kind of crazy to think that that camera represents America. So, of course we hear back, we're like, oh, did you know that this episode had like this many viewers, and it's like the most that people have ever, what was it, like?
I think it's like 2.4 million people were watching ABDC at one point.
It's a lot of zeros.
Right now ABDC playing in Europe right now.
Yeah, we gotta get.
Is that where our Facebook fans are going up? All right.
Yeah.
At first, actually, it was kind of stressful at first. Especially at ABDC, I think, even though I was so tired from all the rehearsals, I only slept like 4 or 5 hours a night. I would like wake up really early just because all the choreography and the pressure of being on ABDC would always be on my mind. It's definitely very exciting, and it's definitely very, it pushes you in a way you've never been pushed before. It's a very challenging thing to do, but I think in the end you grow a lot, because you grow a lot in terms of putting yourself out there, even though there's so many things that you feel like could go wrong, but you just keep a positive mentality and you keep pushing and you just try to do your best, and in the end you grow so much from it. So I think it's just a very big growing experience.
I was I was like super nervous before every single taping because I don't know, I get nervous when I perform in front of like a small group of people, but it's just very like it's very nerve-wracking, like because you're thinking like, oh man, all these people are gonna watch. That's like 2.4 million people judging me at the same time, and it's like crazy. Like I couldn't eat like the day of filming. Like they would take us to go eat, and I would be like, okay, I'm gonna get some pasta because it looks really good, and then I would get it, and I'm like, I'm gonna eat like two pasta like little strings, and then not be able to finish the rest because I was like so nervous. Except for the last week we were on, for some reason that rehearsal just went by really easy. The Bieber week went by really easy, and we were like, oh yeah, we're gonna do good because we were like all really relaxed for some reason because we like finished it ahead of time and we got eliminated the same week. But like it was definitely like it was on your mind, but you just have to like right before you go on, you just have to take like a deep breath. For me, I would like remember life outside of dance. I would like think of like Taiwan or like my parents or something so that I don't like get crazy with like the idea that so many people are watching me. I was just like think of like things to ground me and then perform, and it helped a lot. Yes.
Nice. I'm a little different because I haven't been in the competition scene like in a reality TV show, but I can relate. The LXD performed at the Academy Awards.
Yeah.
And that was one of my favorite moments being an artist. I cried on stage because it was amazing. It was amazing to perform for the Academy Awards, which were nuts. It was nuts. It's really peaceful for me on stage. I don't know, like when I know all eyes are on who's ever performing, if that's me, I just try to do my best. And yeah, my heart's like going like that, but you know, I just breathe, and it's just a cool feeling to know that people are watching you perform your art. So I don't really feel like, I don't really think about, these people are gonna hate it, because I don't think my stakes are to win a prize, unlike being on on ABDC or So You Think You Can Dance. Before I shot my LXD episode, I was on tour with Glee. Julie helped us out with that, thanks Julie. I flew from San Jose, California back to LA, and we did a night shoot. We shot from 9 p.m. to 9 a.m. So I was super tired, but what was going, and even though it wasn't a live audience I was performing for, I knew we were gonna get a lot of viewers for that, or for LXD in general. So even though I was really tired and not working off any sleep, every single take I'm like, I'm gonna make this one better. Because I want the editors to be able to pick from the best one. They're like, oh my gosh, that one kicked butt, we can't top it, boom, that's it. So that's kind of, knowing that millions and millions of people are going to watch this, I just want to make it the best I can. So that when people watch it, they're like, oh my god, I want to watch it again, you know? So, good question.
Who knew ballerinas could battle like that?
Hey now.
Intense.
Really? Yeah, it is.
Have you ever seen Black Swan?
Unfortunately, I haven't performed in front of millions of viewers, but I do have a background as a dancer. I actually danced with these guys a bunch at jams.
He's actually a b-boy, I know.
Manager b-boy.
But
I can relate just in the fact that, whether it's getting ready for a performance or a competition, you get antsy, but at the end of the day, you only prepare so much up until that point. So when it's time to perform or whether it's to compete, you really have to have the mentality to have fun. Because then you're probably going to perform at the best, because then you feel at ease, you feel comfortable. So it's hard to get at that point sometimes, but you really have to remember, like, you're doing it because you want to have fun with it, present your art to people. So I think that's probably one of the most important things before, like, before they go on stage, like, I try to remind them, the most important thing you have to remember before you go out there or you're going to mess everything up is you really have to have fun with it at the end of the day. You have to enjoy it. So that's how I could relate to it, even though I haven't performed on ABDC and So You Think or whatnot,
You battled a lot though.
And you were in the cypher yesterday.
The olden days.
You try to hide it, but it comes out.
It came out last night. Moon will answer this question better than I will.
What's the question?
What does it feel like to have millions of people watch you dance?
I feel like money. I enjoyed every single second on ABDC performed there with my crew, and it's really good experience. And especially to me, just personally for me, the most important thing is my parents to watch the show, and actually they come to watch me perform live. It's like the greatest moments ever happened in my life. Bang.
Yeah, I think all crews have like a ritual before they go on. Like I know you guys go. Like,
who are you? Me.
And we do like this thing. Well, we do this thing really works. The punch thing that works really well. Let's do it. Wait, hold on. Let's do it.
All right, here we go.
So like when you're really nervous before you go on stage, this is what we do.
Basically, I put both hands like this, here, and then I punch him really hard, just to be like that. Yeah. But we have the other one. What's the other one? Let's do this one. Ready? 5, 6, 7, 8. No, imagine that with like 8 people. Way more epic.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Well-
I think we have to wrap things up, right?
And then one last thing, you guys can actually go upstairs and have a meet and greet with all of these lovely people.
Oh my.
And yeah, so
We-
up close and personal. So please feel free to go upstairs after this panel.
And please, everyone, check out the festival catalog, check the festival website. The festival runs all the way through October something or other, 28th, I think. And please check it out. And please thank our panelists so much for.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming.